Hello everyone, gather around because today we're diving into the juicy details of how Hoyoverse decides which characters get a Genshin Rerun and which get left in the dust. And yes, we'll even talk about why our girl Eula doesn't get the love she deserves, while others like Venti, Zhongli, Raiden, or even Tartaglia get way more reruns. Stick around to the end of the video and you just might discover a bonus reason as well. Now let's get right into it. Reason number one is as clear as it gets for gacha games: money, money, money. I'm sure that you know that Genshin is a business and needs a constant flow of money to function as a live service game, as well as some bonus money to help fund other games as well. And that's where the characters come in. Now, there are many factors that contribute to characters selling well, but the two main ones are who the character is, and more importantly, how strong they are. We can get a good look at this by looking at the Archons. The Archons tend to be very popular since these characters are seen as godlike figures, and people are drawn to collecting them and experiencing their powers in-game. Furthermore, players often expect the Archons to be powerful, so this preconceived notion of strength drives many players to drain their wallet every single time Hoyoverse gives them the chance. And now, this is not just a mere assumption. As you can see on screen right now, the sales figures for each of the banner periods on the iOS devices indicate a clear trend. Each of the Archons is included within some of Genshin's top-selling banners. The only one which lags behind a little is our main man Zhongli. He may be a fan favorite who fits into many teams, but his lack of contribution to team damage is likely what puts him behind the likes of Venti, Raiden, and Nahida in terms of sales. Looking back at the bigger picture, you may have noticed that most characters, which happen to have second or third rerun banners, also seem to sell pretty well, and this is no mistake. The only outlier here seems to be Child, who has had a lot of reruns, but not sold as well as Hoyoverse may have hoped. Probably because his fans spent all their money on those custom body pillows. You know who you are. When you think about it, Alpha Tui Boy's performance on these banners may be a pretty significant reason that Hoyoverse just aren't rerunning risky characters. Moving on to reason number 2. Hoyoverse may hold off on reruns if they're planning to release similar characters with a brand spanking new artifact set that buffs the old character. You can think about it like an entire character buff in disguise. And this wouldn't be the first time they did something like this either. In version 2.6, they released Xiao's best in slot artifact set, the Vermilion Hereafter, and then did a Xiao Rerun in version 2.7. On top of this, new character banners generally also relate to the Spiral Abyss floors which they benefit the said character. This was seen with the corrosion mechanic coming in at around the time Kokomi was released. Now, this could explain why Eula, a physical DPS, has not been rerun yet, as Hoyoverse may be planning on releasing a new physical DPS character with a signature artifact set and related mechanics which would do well for her in the Abyss. We can also see that Mika, a physical DPS support, has been released. It sets up pretty well for another physical DPS in the future, so maybe it is fine to hold onto your copium for just a little while longer, Eula savers. And now, we move on to reason number 3, and this comes down to story relevance. Hoyoverse do this to maximize the hype of a character, making people think less rational as they go, "Wow, cool character on screen," which quickly becomes a "so anyway I started wishing" moment. This can also be tied to temporary events if they have enough hype as well, as seen in the case of Albedo being featured in the 2.3 Dragonspine event with his evil twin. On the flip side, we have seen Eula feature in event quests with less world building and hype, so she wasn't featured in any of those banners in those respective versions. And now, here's the bonus reason for all you dedicated viewers: filler banners. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes reruns happen because Hoyoverse looked over things in their plan and needed to fill a last minute gap. Remember the time Kaching banner was used to replace the Hu Tao banner due to death not being a culturally appropriate theme for the Chinese New Year? And let's not forget about Ayaka's banner that got extended indefinitely because of the pandemic. So there you have it, the ins and outs of how Hoyoverse decides its Genshin reruns. Remember, at the end of the day, it's kinda like a bakery. They're all about making that dough and keeping them rolls selling. Thanks for watching.